What if the salad you had for lunch, the sushi you craved last night, or even the herbal tea sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now could silently harm your unborn baby? Some of the most dangerous foods during pregnancy are ones most women never suspect. Are you absolutely sure you know all of them? Here is the truth that most pregnancy books gloss over, and most doctors simply do not have enough time to explain in a 10-minute appointment. Food safety during pregnancy is not just about avoiding a stomach ache. It is about protecting a tiny, developing human being whose immune system does not yet exist, whose organs are forming day by day, and whose entire neurological future can be shaped by what enters your body right now. The stakes are real, and the information you are about to hear is backed by the FDA, the NHS, the CDC, and leading obstetric organizations around the world. By the end of this video, you will have a clear, medically grounded understanding of exactly which foods to avoid, why they are dangerous at a biological level, and what you can safely eat instead. No fear-mongering, no unnecessary panic, just honest and evidence-based facts that every pregnant woman deserves to know. And make sure you stay until the end, because the last category on this list surprises almost every pregnant woman who hears it. Before we get into the actual list, you need to understand something fundamental about your body during pregnancy, because once you understand the biology, the food rules stop feeling like arbitrary restrictions and start making complete sense. During pregnancy, your immune system undergoes a deliberate and dramatic shift. Your body intentionally dials down its immune response to prevent it from attacking the fetus, which it would otherwise recognize as a foreign body. This is a remarkable and necessary adaptation, but it comes with a serious trade-off. You become significantly more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses. Infections that might give a non-pregnant person a mild stomach upset for a day or two can become life-threatening complications during pregnancy. According to the CDC, pregnant women are approximately 10 times more likely to contract listeria than the general population. 10 times. That single statistic should reframe how you think about every food choice you make over the next 9 months. Now here is one of the most common and most dangerous myths in pregnancy nutrition. Many women believe that the placenta acts as a complete shield, filtering out anything harmful before it reaches the baby. This is simply not true. The placenta is extraordinary, but it is not a perfect barrier. Think of it like a very fine mesh screen. It catches many things, but it is far from impenetrable. Mercury, listeria bacteria, the toxoplasma parasite, alcohol, and numerous other harmful substances all cross the placental barrier and reach your developing baby directly. Timing also matters enormously. During the first trimester, your baby's major organs are forming, making this the most sensitive window for developmental damage. But the second and third trimesters are not safe zones either. Brain development, lung maturation, and nervous system growth continue right up until birth, meaning that a food-related exposure at 30 weeks can still have lasting consequences. Understanding this is the foundation for everything that follows. Let us start with one of the most well-known categories, but one that is far more nuanced than most people realize. Raw and undercooked seafood, including sushi, sashimi, oysters, clams, and ceviche, carries a significant risk of listeria, vibrio bacteria, norovirus, and parasitic infections. These pathogens are particularly dangerous during pregnancy not only because your immune system is suppressed, but because some of them, listeria in particular, can cross the placenta and directly infect the fetus, causing miscarriage, premature birth, stillbirth, or severe illness in the newborn. The risk is not limited to obvious raw fish dishes. Cross-contamination in restaurants and sushi preparation environments means that even a cooked roll prepared on the same surface as raw fish carries some level of exposure. For women who love sushi and are grieving this particular restriction, there is genuinely good news. Rolls made with fully cooked ingredients such as cooked shrimp, crab, cucumber, avocado, and sweet potato are generally considered safe. The issue is specifically with raw fish, not with the rice, seaweed, or other sushi components. The FDA, the NHS, and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists all advise avoiding raw seafood entirely during pregnancy. This is one area where the guidance is consistent across every major health authority in the world. Raw and undercooked meat presents a different but equally serious set of risks. The primary concerns are Toxoplasma gondii, a parasite that can cause severe fetal brain damage and vision problems, along with Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria. A rare steak, a medium-rare burger, or pink lamb chops might be perfectly enjoyable experiences outside of pregnancy, but during these 9 months, all meat needs to be cooked through to a safe internal temperature. The FDA recommends that beef, pork, and lamb reach an internal temperature of at least 145 degrees Fahrenheit, while ground meats should reach 160 degrees and poultry a minimum of 165 degrees. Here is where many women are genuinely caught off guard. Deli meats and cold cuts are also on the avoid list, and this surprises people because these products are technically already cooked. The reason they remain dangerous is listeria. Unlike most bacteria, Listeria monocytogenes can survive and even multiply at refrigerator temperatures. This means that a turkey sandwich or a slice of salami that has been sitting in your refrigerator for a few days can harbor dangerous levels of listeria even though it was cooked during processing. The good news is that heating deli meats until they are steaming hot, meaning you can see steam rising from the meat, effectively kills listeria and makes them significantly safer to eat. Raw eggs carry a well-known risk of salmonella, but the real danger during pregnancy lies in the hidden sources that most women simply do not think about. Obviously, a raw egg on its own is something most people would not eat. The problem is the foods that contain raw or lightly cooked eggs without being obvious about it. Homemade Caesar salad dressing, hollandaise sauce, béarnaise sauce, homemade mayonnaise, mousse, tiramisu, certain protein shakes, and homemade ice cream recipes all frequently contain raw eggs. Even some homemade cookie doughs and cake batters consumed before baking carry this risk. Pasteurized eggs are a safe and widely available alternative. In the United States and Canada, look for cartons labeled as pasteurized. In the United Kingdom, there is an important and reassuring regional distinction worth knowing. Eggs that carry the British Lion Code stamp, which appears on the vast majority of UK eggs, are now considered safe to eat even when runny or raw, according to updated NHS guidance. This is because hens producing Lion Code eggs are vaccinated against salmonella. However, this exception applies specifically to those eggs and does not extend to eggs purchased abroad or imported products containing raw egg. Now let us address one of the most genuinely confusing areas of pregnancy nutrition, because this one requires real nuance. Fish is simultaneously one of the most beneficial and one of the most potentially harmful food categories during pregnancy, and understanding the difference could have a lasting impact on your baby's brain development. On the beneficial side, fatty fish is one of the richest natural sources of DHA, an omega-3 fatty acid that is absolutely essential for fetal brain development, eye development, and nervous system formation. Studies consistently show that adequate DHA intake during pregnancy is associated with better cognitive outcomes in children. So avoiding all fish during pregnancy is not the answer, and in fact it may be doing more harm than good. The danger lies specifically in mercury and more precisely in methylmercury, the form of mercury that accumulates in fish tissue. Methylmercury is a potent neurotoxin. It crosses both the placental barrier and the blood-brain barrier, meaning it reaches the developing fetal brain directly. Exposure to high levels of methylmercury during fetal development has been linked to neurological damage, delayed cognitive and motor development, hearing impairment, and vision problems. Crucially, this damage is often not visible at birth. It may only become apparent months or years later as developmental delays or learning difficulties. The fish highest in mercury are large, predatory species that sit at the top of the aquatic food chain. Because these fish eat smaller fish, and those smaller fish eat even smaller organisms, mercury accumulates and concentrates as you move up the food chain in a process called bioaccumulation. The fish to avoid entirely during pregnancy include shark, swordfish, king mackerel, big-eye tuna, tilefish from the Gulf of Mexico, orange roughy, and marlin. Canned light tuna is lower in mercury and is generally considered safe in limited quantities. However, albacore or white tuna is higher in mercury than light tuna and should be limited to no more than one serving per week according to FDA guidance. The fish that are both safe and genuinely beneficial during pregnancy include wild-caught salmon, sardines, rainbow trout, herring, and anchovies. These are low in mercury and high in DHA, making them excellent choices. The FDA and NHS both recommend that pregnant women aim for 2 to 3 servings of low-mercury fish per week rather than avoiding fish altogether. Unpasteurized milk and cheeses made from unpasteurized milk are another significant source of listeria risk during pregnancy. Pasteurization is the process of heating milk to a specific temperature to kill harmful bacteria. And while unpasteurized or raw dairy products have seen a rise in popularity among certain wellness communities, they carry genuine and well-documented risks for pregnant women. Soft cheeses are a particular concern because their higher moisture content creates an environment where listeria can thrive. The cheeses most commonly associated with listeria risk during pregnancy include brie, camembert, roquefort, gorgonzola, feta, queso fresco, and other fresh or surface-ripened cheeses, particularly when made with unpasteurized milk. Hard cheeses such as cheddar, parmesan, gruyere, and Gouda are generally considered safe regardless of pasteurization status, because their low moisture content does not support listeria growth in the same way. It is worth noting that many soft cheeses sold in major supermarkets across the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia are made with pasteurized milk and are therefore safe. The key habit to develop is reading the label. If a cheese is made from pasteurized milk, it is generally safe. If the label does not specify, or if you are eating at a restaurant and cannot verify, it is safer to choose an alternative. This is an area that surprises a great many people because vegetables and salads feel inherently healthy and safe, and they are, with one important caveat: unwashed raw produce can carry Toxoplasma gondii, i.e. coli, salmonella, and listeria from soil contamination, animal feces used in fertilizer, or handling during processing and transport. The solution is straightforward but important. All raw fruits and vegetables should be thoroughly washed under running water before eating, even if they are labeled pre-washed or organic. Firm produce like melons and cucumbers should be scrubbed with a clean brush. Raw sprouts deserve special mention because they are frequently overlooked. Alfalfa sprouts, bean sprouts, clover sprouts, and radish sprouts are grown in warm, humid conditions that are unfortunately ideal for bacterial growth. The FDA advises pregnant women to avoid raw sprouts entirely and to only consume them if they have been thoroughly cooked. This applies to sprouts in sandwiches, salads, stir-fry dishes that have not reached a high enough temperature, and even some restaurant garnishes where sprouts appear decoratively. Caffeine is one of the most widely consumed substances in the world, and the guidance around it during pregnancy is nuanced rather than absolute. Caffeine crosses the placental barrier, and because the developing fetus lacks the enzymes needed to metabolize it efficiently, it remains in fetal circulation for a much longer time than it does in an adult's body. High caffeine intake during pregnancy has been associated with restricted fetal growth, low birth weight, and in some studies, an increased risk of miscarriage. The current guidance from the NHS, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and the WHO is not to eliminate caffeine entirely, but to limit it to no more than 200 milligrams per day. To put that in practical terms, a standard 8-ounce cup of brewed coffee contains roughly 95 to 200 milligrams of caffeine depending on how it is prepared, meaning one moderate cup per day is generally considered within safe limits. However, caffeine is not found only in coffee. Tea, green tea, cola drinks, energy drinks, dark chocolate, and even some medications contain caffeine. Adding these together across a day can push intake well above the recommended limit without a woman realizing it. Keeping a simple mental tally of total daily caffeine from all sources is a practical habit worth developing. This is the category that generates the most surprise, and it is the one most worth paying close attention to. Many pregnant women deliberately switch from regular tea and coffee to herbal teas during pregnancy, under the entirely reasonable assumption that herbal equals safe and natural equals harmless. This assumption, while understandable, is not always accurate. Certain herbal teas contain compounds that have been associated with uterine contractions, hormonal effects, or other physiological responses that are potentially harmful during pregnancy. The herbal teas most commonly flagged in medical literature as unsafe during pregnancy include pennyroyal, which has been associated with miscarriage and is considered dangerous even in small amounts, blue cohosh and black cohosh, which can stimulate uterine contractions, dong quai, which may affect hormone levels and stimulate the uterus, and high doses of licorice root, which has been linked to preterm labor in some research. Even some seemingly gentle and widely available herbal teas carry cautions. Large quantities of chamomile, raspberry leaf tea in the first trimester, and certain herbal supplement blends marketed for relaxation or immunity contain ingredients that have not been adequately studied in pregnancy. The same concern extends to herbal supplements, which are largely unregulated in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Just because a supplement is sold in a health food store and labeled as natural does not mean it has been tested for safety during pregnancy. The safest approach is to discuss any herbal tea or supplement with your midwife or obstetrician before consuming it, and to stick to plain options like ginger tea for nausea or peppermint tea for digestion, both of which are widely considered safe in normal quantities. Pregnancy nutrition does not have to be overwhelming. The foods covered in this video, raw seafood, undercooked meat, raw eggs, high mercury fish, unpasteurized dairy, unwashed produce, excessive caffeine, and certain herbal products, represent the evidence-based core of what major health authorities around the world consistently recommend avoiding. The reasoning behind each restriction is biological and real, not arbitrary. The most empowering thing you can do right now is share this information with someone who needs it. Talk to your midwife or doctor about your specific dietary habits, read labels, ask questions at restaurants. And remember that the goal is not perfection or fear, it is informed, confident decision making on behalf of you and your baby. You now have the knowledge that matters more than you know.